Welcome, friends and family, to another episode of the Backdoor Cut show. And as of the time of this recording on Saturday night before Grizzlies take on the Clippers tonight, Grizzlies won 2 out of the last 3 games. Things are kind of exciting. We have some corrections to make on the show, but a lot of good stuff to talk about. A lot more Valanciunas, Mike. Those guys are firing on all cylinders. But with me today, I got Mason and Sam. Sam, we'll start with you. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. It was a nice Saturday here in the M. I got Beauty Shop for brunch, which was delicious. I highly recommend if anyone's ever been to Beauty Shop. They got a really good brunch over there. Really good beignets. And then I recently watched the Michael Jackson documentary on HBO. And boy, is that a harrowing experience. And now every time I hear Michael Jackson, I think of child molestation, which is bad because Michael Jackson plays all the time everywhere. But damn, it's a tough watch. But honestly, it's very informative, and I recommend if you can make it through it.
So don't go. You're not like Jones going to get to Rayford's, I guess.
No. But usually when I get to Rayford's, I'm drunk enough, like I'm in the right level of drunk to where I just don't really understand the music necessarily. I just hear like a constant beat.
Yeah, maybe you won't associate it with that at that point.
I hope so. But ready to talk some Grizz. It's been a while.
Yeah. Mason, what's up?
What's up, man? Been a great week of hoops. Maybe not for the NBA, but for the tournament. March Madness has fucking went to another level this weekend. We had some great games. The Final Four set. We got Texas Tech, Virginia, Auburn, and Michigan State. Not what CBS wants for their broadcast for the viewership, but should be a fun Final Four nonetheless. Grizzlies been winning. JV's been going ham. Had a 34-20 game last night. Just ridiculous. 6 straight double-doubles. Mike's scored in at least 20 points in 9 straight. So at least we got the Grizz. You know, the Memphis Express blew one last night with the help of the refs. 901 FC fell in a close one to the Red Bulls too. But the Grizz are winning, so let's keep it up.
Yeah, for sure. A couple news and notes before we get started. So Deonta Davis, who was part of the Garrett Temple trade this summer for the Grizzlies, sent him out to Sacramento. But most recently, his activity, he signed a 10-day contract with the Hawks earlier this week. And he's played in 3 games, 26 minutes so far. He's amassed 8 points, 5 rebounds. But someone posted in the Grizzlies Reddit a picture of someone in the Atlanta Hawks subreddit talking about Davis, and they didn't really have very many nice things to say about it. It was just kind of funny to go down memory lane. It's like, yeah, we've been there. We know what to expect, the kind of effort that it perceives that he puts out. And another note, the Grizz have signed Dusty Hannas to a 10-day contract. If you've been to a Hustle game or kept up with the Hustle or Grizzlies PR, any of those Twitter accounts, you know that he's a sharpshooter, 41% shooter from 3. He's averaging 14 points a game to help kind of bolster our guard play and stretch the floor for the Grizzlies potentially. So I want to say he's the Hustle all-time leading scorer. By all-time, I mean 2 seasons, but I mean that's still pretty cool. So we'll see if he gets some run in these upcoming games towards the end of the season. So this week.
That's 2 great pieces of information, man. I really appreciate that.
I'm on the 10-day contract news. I got this. The transactions.
The most interesting thing I got from that was Vince Carter just can't give up on Deonta Davis.
Yeah, is he living with Vince again?
Is he the one that he built the room for?
Yeah. Yeah, and Deonta said he had never been there, not once. So the weirdness continues, man. That's the outsider shit. They always are on that story. So.
Yeah, Vince got an Etch-a-Sketch and put in there, and he put one of those race car rugs where you have the roads on it. And Deonta, that's pretty ungrateful of him, man. He's trying to develop the kid.
Oh man, Dusty Hanna, shout out, man! Congratulations on the 10-day.
Dusty Hanna is a great sports name too.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Yeah,
he was close to 50, 40, 90 this season. I don't know what he ended up with, but when he came on Burno a while back, he was close to 50, 40, 90.
That's pretty legit.
Shout out Bill Simmons. Yeah.
So earlier in the week, a game that I don't think we probably thought that the Grizzlies would do so well, but we got to see some interesting stuff. Thunder, Grizz played the Thunder at home. Paul George did have 30 points on 29 shots.
shots, though. I mean, you'll live with that.
Yeah, that's a lot of attempts to get up there. Schroeder actually had the second most on their team. Dennis Schroeder, coming off the bench with 25 points on a little more efficient 14 shots. But from the Grizzlies side, had a monster game from Bruno, 24-point career high, 11 rebounds, 4-7 from three. Really, really exciting game. What did you guys see in that one? I like all the starters had 17 points minimum. It's like a super good team effort. DeLon with 13 assists.
Career high.
The Grizzlies super showed up for that game, and the Thunder, they've been kind of on a slide. And I was it was nice to see us take advantage of someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Thunder just fucking suck right now. They lost to the Mavericks today. I think they lost 6 or 7 in a row. So we called them at the right time. We took advantage of it. They still got 2 very good players in Westbrook and PG. Steven Adams only had 2 points. So my thought from the last show on watching how JV does against a big center, I was proven wrong. JV shut him down. We can dive into his defensive stats a little more later, but just a good game all around. I mean, Tyler Dorsey, 21, 8 boards, 5 assists. Holiday, 17, 7 and 5. So just a great all-around performance. And of course, JV had a double-double, 18 and 14. But OKC really just is trying to get to the playoffs.
Is Dorsey a actually good or a flash in the pan guy? What do we think?
So he's definitely talented. He can do a lot of different things. He can score. He can distribute. He rebounds well for his size. I'm just trying to figure out where in the rotation good is he? Is he if he's your 12th or 13th best player, I think you're in good shape. But then I'm trying to think about the same thing with Bruno. Where in the pecking order should he be on a legit team? Should he be the 7th man and 3rd big off the bench? Probably not. I'm thinking if he's the 10th man that you can play here and there, that would be ideal. So I kind of got that same feeling with Tyler Dorsey. If he's your backup point guard and you have to play him here and there because of injuries, he's more than capable of filling that void and stepping in, and also playing alongside guys like Mike Conley when you just need that extra spark in a random Tuesday evening matchup against the Mavs or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a good pair of fresh legs that can come off the bench and has the potential to get you 20 points, which really, I think in the past, we haven't really had a bench that 10 guys deep can get you 20 points. Usually we might have 6 or 7 that even have the potential of doing that. So to have the insurance, I guess, to stretch that a little bit, that could be pretty helpful.
Yeah, and I mean, so if we're going into next year and he's slotted as our starting shooting guard, then I think
that's a problem for sure.
So,
yeah,
that means the tank is on. So,
but someone like Golden State, they'd love to have him because their bench is super shallow.
Most definitely, I think he's definitely worth keeping him around and developing. I mean, it's not to say that he can't become better than that 12th or 13th man, but that's what I would see him as starting in an ideal starting role for next season.
Yeah, we have a lot of rotation NBA players that should be 12th to 10th men, but we rely on them to play actual minutes, which kind of speaks a lot of volumes about our roster.
Yeah, I think that just shows our roster. Yeah, and just not that good right now, especially when you only have half of it. How many guys do we have out at this point for the rest of the season?
A lot. I mean,
4.
Mike Conley's not playing tonight. It'll be interesting to see how much more he plays. Then Avery's out, Avery Bradley, CJ Miles, Dylan, Jaren Jackson, Kyle. Joakim Noah hasn't been playing lately, so there's not a lot of guys left.
Man.
Dusty Hannah's about to get some run. Tune into the Dusty Hannah show.
Oh, man.
We followed up the OKC game with a loss to the Warriors. But we had a lead early in the fourth quarter after kind of falling behind early in the game. Then we went on to lose 118 to 103. And the story of this game was really Kevin Durant. He had his best game as a professional. He shot 12 of 13 from the field for 28 points. The Warriors as a team shot 54% from the field, 48% from deep. The highlight kind of this one was Jordan Bell being suspended for ordering porn in his hotel room on the assistant coach's credit card or whatever that story
is. I didn't hear about that.
Man, what an insane move.
Why did he need to borrow a credit card?
Or order porn? It's 2019, my guy. Like the internet, you know?
Use your phone.
Yeah, like, which makes me think he was ordering some weird shit, like some real niche shit. But
yeah, I mean, maybe he's flipping through the channels and something caught his eye, like on the guide. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Hey, we've all been there, you know. Just
Jonas Valanciunas had 27 and 13. He was taking the 2 boogie. They had to put Bogut on JV in the second half to kind of slow him down. Bruno again had 17 and 13. Mike had 22. So what you're seeing from Bruno is he's kind of starting to string together some games, which is a good sign for counting on him maybe as the 8th best player on your team next year. You know, maybe he's making a push to make a little stronger impression in the front office's eyes of just how strongly we value him going into next season. But he continues to show that he's got a lot of intangibles. He can make shots. He's starting to drive, attack the closeouts a lot more, finish at the rim. He's still got to get stronger on his finishes, but he's intriguing, man.
Yeah, and kind of the way I look at it for guys like him and Tyler is that even if our roster, everyone's back next year and there isn't necessarily like playing time and they are the 10th, 12th guys off the bench, you know, maybe there's some trade value in there for them that people have seen what they've been able to do over a consistent period of time this year, and maybe that can translate to whatever team that is next year. I mean, if we're willing to overpay for guys like Holiday, maybe who's to say that someone won't, you know, be desperate and need something from us?
You mean Holiday, who had 4 steals in the first quarter against the Warriors?
That's the same one. Yeah.
He's finally set it down. He's gonna be a good player for the Lakers next year.
With Mike?
Probably. We'll see.
Yeah, and then there was a super exciting game last night at Phoenix. Grizzlies gave up 38 freaking points in the first quarter, which is a pretty big hole to dig yourself out of. So down by 15 after the first quarter, and then just kind of clawed back and won each of the last 3 quarters just a little bit at a time. Mike and JV had 33 and 34 points, respectively. I want to say the Grizzlies PR tweeted out something about how that was like having 2 teammates with 30-plus points for the Grizzlies is just something that, you know, hasn't happened in forever, which makes sense because if you think about it, who can even score 33 points or 30 points on that has been on our roster? Mark and Mike, and then that was rarely happening.
I think Mike and Jaren did it in Brooklyn earlier this year.
Did that in the triple overtime game?
Yeah,
double overtime?
Sure they did.
Yeah, they did. Like Mike had 38 and Jaren had 37 or something like that.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it's been a while. Like, it's very few and far between. The time before that, I think, had been a long time ago.
Yeah, and JV with 11 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, he had 14 points in the fourth quarter, too. DeAndre Ayton went out with I think he rolled his ankle or something like that. So they had Dragan Bender playing the 5.
Toast.
And it was just barbecue chicken.
Yeah, come on.
It was pick and roll every time. And if Mike wasn't like hitting a floater, then JV was putting his elbow right into Bender's chest and going to the basket. DeLon Wright had 5 steals in this one. So he continues to impress too. But it's like, how impressed am I? I don't want him to be my starting point guard yet. Not that impressed.
No.
Be a great backup. He's the ideal backup. Yeah.
And I mean, him and Valanciunas are both playing arguably the best ball of their career. Like, Valanciunas is really no arguing because he's getting the opportunity and he's producing. But you can kind of say the same for DeLon Wright too. So it kind of you can see that they still have some room to grow, and it's kind of something to get excited about. But I'm trying to temper my expectations on the two because I know Chief is not a fan of us running this back.
It's also hard to say, like, when you have a team that has, I mean, you have no expectations to a team that's competing. The stakes are a lot different, so you probably are playing with a different level, like a different mindset. So you really need to see guys in that mindset too, I think, before you can fully pass judgment. And I can't get
Yeah.
excited because last time I got excited, we lost like 3 games in a row. So I'm over it. I can't do it anymore.
Another thing we have in our favor is we got a lot of guys with fresh legs. Like JV hasn't been playing all season. Bruno hasn't really been playing all season, although he was in the D League. He hasn't been racking up big minutes. DeLon, Noah, when he was playing, like we had a lot of guys who were kind of on the fresher end. Tyler Dorsey, whereas most teams have guys who are like just struggling to make it to the final days of the season and get to the playoffs. So that's another thing that's been helping us. But our post All-Star break numbers, we'd be, since the All-Star game, we're 8th in the West record-wise. We got the 15th best defensive rating. We're 14th in the league in points per game. We're attacking a lot. We're actually 5th in the league in free throw attempts per game. 9th in steals, 9th in blocks, 8th in deflections. So the defense is there. I think our weak point is one-on-one defense on the perimeter. We're 4th in opponents' second chance points allowed. So whereas early in the season, teams were kind of pounding us on the glass, since the All-Star break, we've been really good in that area. And I think that's credit in large part to Jonas, because he's just
he's a monster
down there.
Yeah, he got one up.
And then we're also 3rd in overall opponent points in the paint per game. So our defense down there has been, regardless of what I said last week about Jay, he has been protecting the paint. He's allowing 52.6% field goal percentage at the rim. That's 13th amongst centers. So, a little above average. But then in his differential percentage, which is taking what a player normally shoots versus what he shoots against player X, which in this case is JV, he ranks 11th in the league, and opposing offensive players shoot 11% less than their average when going against Valanciunas. So
that's really significant.
Yeah, his one-on-one defense on the block is really good. His pick and roll we can discuss. He's not, definitely not agile, but so it's promising for his future with Jaren Jackson, which we've been robbed of seeing because Jaren's been hurt. But a lot of good things to look into for the pairing in the future and JV's defense overall, because Jaren can be that mobile guy who you can put in pick and rolls, and he can switch on almost anybody, you would hope, if he can stop fouling.
I totally had a thought. Oh yeah, here it was. So a lot of people are saying, Jaren's he's got to play the 5, but I feel like if you have a guy like Jonas, do you think Jaren has to play the 5? Why can't he just play the 4? And then as defensive matchups allow it, work around that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this to you guys a couple times. I want to see him become more perimeter oriented than a 5-man, because I think he has the skills to be all of the above, but I think he's more dangerous when he has the ball in his hands. I think you need your superstar to be a player who can make the play with the ball off the bounce. And I think he's shown that he can do that to a degree. But obviously in small ball rotations, he can play 5. But no, I'm with you. I don't think he necessarily has to be slotted in as a center, especially when you look around the league. And whereas the kind of thought is that the center is dying, you look at Clint Capella.
Yeah, that's exactly who. Yeah, just a big man down low who's not – he's not shooting threes.
Yeah, even the Warriors got Boogie Cousins to deal with other big guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got Nurkic, who just suffered an awful injury. He was having the best season of his career. But there's a lot of big men: Embiid, Marc Gasol up in Toronto, Serge Ibaka,
Vucevic,
Vuce. Yeah, there's big men all around. Anthony Davis, I guess, is the counter because he's kind of playing that 5, but he doesn't like it. He doesn't like having to be that 5-man because there's so many big bodies that you have to bang around with nowadays.
Yeah, and even the Pelicans use Randall down there a lot, at the 5. So Davis is playing the 4 in that situation. Not saying that like you want to model everything you do after them because they're obviously not very good, but
I like to see him model like after Siakam kind of deal, like a kind of a shifty, like wing based four kind of that can be, you can switch and shoots threes and gets to the rim, and doesn't have the handles that Siakam has, but that would be a good kind of goal, like a player model.
Yeah, and I mean, especially pairing with JV, who you can toss it into and he can get a bucket on the block. He can pop out enough to keep defenses honest on shooting the jumper and allow Jaren to basically do whatever he's feeling that night. So I'm excited to see them in the future.
What's the pick watch right now? How are we feeling about convey, or where are we at right now in Tankathon?
We're in 8th now. I think we're half a game back from New Orleans, maybe.
For 9th?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's very attainable.
Yeah, we're right there. I think
that's
it. If Mike plays, a lot of these games closing out the season, then we got a good chance to be that number 9.
Yeah, it looks like we're tied with New Orleans, or we're the same amount of games back, but they're in the 9th and we're in the 8th. I guess they've won a little bit more. We have 6 games left. They've got 4 games. Grizzly, you got to be quiet. My dog's really excited tonight. She turned 1 year old today, and she's just like wants to be on the podcast and everything.
Oh, hey. Kids, man, kids grow up.
Kids.
Yeah. Living up to her namesake. She's Grizzly. She wants to
She wants to start creating some content, if that's okay.
Yeah, cool. It's gonna be like a paw print on the website.
We appeal to all dog owners.
Yeah.
These Tankathon standings are more exciting than the actual playoff standings. The West playoff teams are set. The top 8, the order is yet to be determined, but all the teams are set. So now they're just kind of jockeying for position. So I imagine the Clippers will come out and play pretty tough tonight and probably beat us out here in LA.
But do we agree that we need to add a lottery talent with Jaren at some point in the next 3 years?
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if we don't this year, if we convey, then that's my point about running it back. If we run it back, then we drastically decrease the odds of that.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on how good that team can be. That team could just be like this year, and we think we're good, and then we suck. And
well, yeah, but then we still win. We're still going to win like 30 some odd. We're still going to win enough games where it's bad, where you end up with the not good lottery pick, which is worst case scenario.
Yeah, no, you are correct. I mean, unless we are just the thing is, we would kind of be waiting till 2021 then. Oh no, okay, yeah. Listen, man, I'm tired of losing games. This team winning games has kind of been fun. Like, just losing games puts me in such a down mood. Like, it affects my lifestyle. I just want to win and compete for the playoffs.
Yeah, man. I agree. And if it weren't like the long-term future that I can't help but think about, then I would agree. But it's just, I mean, that's why I kind of want this lottery pick this year. Give me Zion, man, and then we'll run it back with the pick from this year. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's why we're fighting to get to the 9 spot now. So we have those 1 through 4 odds, 20%, and then you don't get the 5, 6, 7, or 8. You don't even get odds for those. So then you get your 9 pick, and you convey. And then if you convey, I think you probably trade Mike Conley. I think any deal with Mike Conley not only needs a draft pick, but a player that you kind of believe in. Like that would be more important to me than a draft pick is Alonzo Ball, or a player that you believe can be that piece next to Jaren Jackson, other than a lottery pick, which is going to be up in the air. I would rather just get that next piece of the franchise in that trade.
Well, the Lakers aren't going to get Kemba. The Hornets are going to max him. They're going to super max him, right? Like they need a guy like that to stay there in order to be anything.
Yeah, I mean, Kemba, he's a New York kid too. He could go home to Brooklyn or the Knicks.
Yeah, I think Kyrie's going to New York. I mean, I think a lot of people think that. But
yeah, now they're saying Kyrie said Brooklyn over New York. So
oh shit. Yeah. Well,
Kyrie, stirring the pot, man. Come on.
Yeah, flat earthers, man.
He's going back to Cleveland for sure.
But
so
that would
my
free
point
up
is,
your boy D'Angelo.
well, and my point is that the Lakers are, when you look out there, who do they get, man? Like Kawhi, everyone's saying is going to the Clippers.
Why is that exactly? Instead of LA?
Because he wants to be in LA, but he just there's like a lot of rumor buzz out there that no one wants to play with LeBron, and that like everyone understands the media circus and the expectations that come. And LeBron is now kind of entering his twilight years, and is still obviously incredible, but like it's not like you just go there and make the finals now, not like it used to be. So there's not a lot of incentive, I guess, to go join that team because are such expectations. So, but he does want to be in LA, and the Clippers got a bunch of young, cool pieces. People like Doc Rivers as a coach. The players really respect him. So that's what I've understood it to be. We look up and I don't see who the Lakers get. So I think a Mike Conley trade could actually net us some shit for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a legit possibility. My only thing to that is if a superstar goes to the Clippers, who are already a playoff team, the expectations then are going to be that you're a title contender. So they're going to be tough no matter whether you go to the Clippers or the Lakers. Like you're going to be expected to be a top team in the West if you're a superstar and you choose one of those teams.
Yeah.
No doubt. That'll be interesting. I guess best case scenario is that the Grizzlies get some piece of whatever LeBron was trying to trade for Anthony Davis, if everything else like falls through. That if Mike's the best available, point guard that isn't going to sign somewhere, and like all the free agents, all that movement happens, and the dust settles, and no star point guards go there, then Mike's probably one of the better options for him, especially if he plays like this year. I mean, Mike's playing awesome. He's so much fun to watch right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's since the All-Star break, he's 17th in the league in points per game. He's averaging 26, shooting 48% from the field, 40% from deep, 6.5 assists per game. That's 21st in the league. And he has fewer turnovers per game than anyone who has more assists. So fewer than any of the people who are top 20 in assists. And something I didn't expect, he's 5th in free throw attempts per game. So opening up the offense for him, he is just attacking the basket, getting to the rim. He's been great. And his dad came out in a Bleacher Report article that was released like Thursday, I want to say. And he said that Mike can't be around for that in reference to a rebuild, and said it's unfair to put him in that situation after everything he's done. So, Mike's dad is also his agent. So I think that's kind of saying this summer, we expect to be moved.
Yeah, and I'm at peace with that. I think I'd love for Mike to go somewhere and have success. And also this week, Zach Lowe of ESPN, he was on his, I don't know if it was his 10 Things. Yeah, it was his 10 Things article that he publishes weekly, was talking about Mike even like should be in the conversation for an all NBA team for like what he's done this year, with the Grizzlies.
Yeah, carrying the Grizzlies torch.
Yeah, carrying the Grizzlies. Yeah. He kind of says like, if Brad Beal and Kemba Walker are candidates for third team, why would Conley? Because he's a better defender, and there's a lot more than just straight up scoring and points per game that should be taken into account. So Zach Lowe I feel like he's loved the Grizzlies for a while. He loved Gasol. He always remembers us when other people forget about us, I guess. That's kind of how I feel. But I was like, dang, I never really thought of it in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. That would be way cooler than getting elected to an all-star game.
Yeah.
One of the top 15 players.
Has anyone ever made an all-NBA team and not been an all-star? That'd be a bizarre occurrence, I feel like. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure I could Google it, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine that I would think like a big man somewhere along the lines, like a Rudy Gobert type. But who knows? Or a DeAndre Jordan maybe one year. Yeah,
maybe so. I don't know. A quick Google reveals that I have to Google better, so I'm not going to do that.
In Zach Harper's weekly power rankings on The Athletic, he had an interesting nugget about the Grizzlies coming out of timeouts. And we've scored 83.4 points per 100 possessions coming out of timeouts on 44.7 effective field goal percentage. Both of those are worst in the league.
JB,
Yeah,
are we keeping JB?
88.
What are we doing with JB? What are we doing with the front office? What's getting shaken up here?
I mean, I would assume there's got to be a changing of who is in charge in the front office, and I would assume you either whether you're promoting someone internally or bringing someone from outside. My preference would to kind of clean the slate, bring someone in for outside, and start over, and then he could select his coach. And JB, he's a great guy. I know people say good things about him off the court, and we have put together a good little winning streak, but there's a lot to be desired for me. But I'm not saying we need to fire him, because I don't know I don't have the solution of who we could go hire that would be better. And he has dealt with a lot of turmoil, and the team, to his credit, has kind of stayed the course ever since the Marc Gasol trade, and we kind of continued to fight. But there were some dark moments there in December.
Shit, man.
He does have one of my favorite post game quotes so far that I've heard with my own ears from a Grizzlies coach. I don't know who it was, but I was leaving one of the games before him. They do like, I think it's Fish is reading through the stats and everything, and they had the post game presser playing on ESPN, and he said something about it was probably Jonas. He said he had testicular fortitude. I was like, that's awesome. I'm going to use that whenever I get a chance to.
He has grandiose grapefruits.
He also had the Joe Kim's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. He seems like a real dude. Look, I'm team, but let's drink some beers at local, JB and me, but maybe don't coach my basketball team. So I'm sure he's cool, but I don't know. Show me something.
Yeah.
Maybe the roster. The roster hasn't been that great either. It's hard to judge him based on that, but that timeout stat is incredibly fucking troubling.
Yeah, I think that's one of the. I wonder what's the
direct
Kings?
to coaching stat, right?
That's what I want to know. What's Jaeger doing?
He was the man coming out of timeouts.
I felt like that's a good, if you can surpass whatever he's drawing up, then you're in good company. But maybe that bar's too high.
Our defense was like top 10 or 11. I didn't write that in my notes, but it was somewhere right around there. So the defense wasn't too shabby. People weren't scoring at will off of us.
And neither were we.
Yeah.
Our net still probably didn't come out that great.
Yo, you drinking a Fanta, dude?
Yeah, man. I got a 6-pack at the grocery store.
Yo, good.
I got a 6-pack.
Are we going to cross-country practice later, dude?
Hey, I might, man. I'm ready to run.
Have you had a orange vanilla Coke?
Man, hell no. And I'm tired of these damn commercials.
It got me. I saw one at a standalone at the store, and I got it. Chilled it for like 6 hours, and it was good.
What it tastes like?
Mostly orange, not too much vanilla. Like an orange Coke, I guess, with slight hints of vanilla.
I don't know what that would. I can't fathom a orange Coke.
It's like orange soda.
Orange float, I guess.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't like that outrageous of a taste.
I did go to a vegan festival yesterday, and I got some vegan jerky. That's interesting. It's not bad, but it's kind of like the texture of dog treats.
Oh yeah. Sometimes texture can really fuck me up, man.
Yeah, but it's not bad. I've been eating it.
Okay. Are you vegan now, or are you just like dabbling?
Nah, man. Where I work, they had rented out one of my spaces, so I went and checked it out. Went to just go kind of undercover spy on them, see how everything was going. Got some mac and cheese with some vegan shit. I don't know what it was. It wasn't no chicken, but it was like cauliflower, and it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm for it.
Power to those people.
Yeah, man. That's how you do it.
Then I had meatloaf at night.
Then I tell them, bro.
And he stabbed him in the back.
I haven't had meatloaf in like 3 years. I love meatloaf though.
It's one of the Hello Fresh meals, man. Shout out Hello Fresh if y'all want to.
I used to Hello Fresh, but the single life Hello Freshing I had too much good food, and it was like stressing me out. I'd be like being bombarded with delicious artisan food.
Yeah, because it comes every week, man.
Yeah, it does. Like the mailman, bro, Carl Malone. HelloFresh.
Like you forget to cancel that shit too. It's like, damn, I got 7 meals in the
or you move into a new apartment and the person before you had it and they forgot to cancel it, so you like have random help. I think Blue Apron, that happened to me a couple times. Just like with my address, I'm like, well, this person isn't here anymore. I guess this is mine.
Dude, every HelloFresh meal had fingerling potatoes. Do they still have those?
Yeah.
Like 70% of them, they were like, chop your fingerling potatoes. And that was just a weird like name of a food for me.
Them.
Yeah, a lot of them do. Jamario Jones, who is a Memphis product, recently signed. I think he got a 10-day or rest of the season contract with the Lakers. He came out of Melrose in 2014. Went to Hill Community College and went to New Mexico State after that, and he was the WAC Player of the Year last year. So shout out to Jamario Jones, Melrose product.
All right, I love the Memphis boys.
Sweet. That was good news. That was probably better news than Deonta Davis.
Yeah.
I think that tops that one.
Give him Vince's room. Give Jamario Jones Vince's extra bedroom.
That's just a little nugget, man, for those people who stayed around listening.
Yeah.
We got anything else? Anything else on the Grizz?
Oh man, let's just see three more games left and see what happens.
Yeah, 6 games, I think, but 3 at a time. 3 at a time.
Yeah.
What we got?
3 at home, maybe. I don't know. I had some 3 in my head.
There's
3 at home. Hopefully, Mike Conley plays a few more games at home and can continue to expand on his franchise lead in points. Who do you guys think will be the next one to catch him? And I guess this question is really, do you think Jaren Jackson will ever catch him?
I can only hope. I guess hoping that he's A, stays around long enough to do it, and B, plays well enough to do it.
I think he will, just because he'll get more opportunity and seems to be further developed than Mike was at that age. Offensively.
Yeah. I would assume Jaren passed Mike this year in rookie, like year-to-year scoring, but I don't know.
Maybe not, because he'll only play 50 games or 50 something.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we'll get the Barn stat guy to do that.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Zach.
Shoot, I don't know. You're coming at hot with more numbers than me, man.
Oh man!
But I'll take the challenge.
Well, I'll be putting Mike Conley's top 5 career moments up. Probably have that up Monday or Tuesday. So that's been fun putting together. What are y'all's Mike Conley's moments? And you can't say the Warriors masked man game, because that's number 1 in everybody's heart.
Mine's gonna be the even though I wasn't there for it, the heads up versus Kawhi in the playoffs a couple years ago. Because that was really fun. That was on my bachelor party. So there was like, a bunch of dudes out of town all gathered around the TV cheering for our home team, even though we weren't there to watch it.
Yeah.
That we had hope, and then that didn't work out. But that night was really fun.
It was fun.
I think that's a clear number 2.
I think mine is not really this is going to be kind of cheating. I feel like it's not a moment as much as it was when he started shooting threes consistently. Kind of opened up his game. I remember there was a point where he wasn't, and then suddenly he was hitting them, and that was when he became the scoring Mike Conley. And so that was like probably 2013, 14 or so when he started scoring more.
Is that also a stat assignment for me?
No,
okay,
that's just me talking out my ass.
Mason, what was yours? Was yours the masked man?
I was just frozen out for a second. My internet was fucking up. What'd you ask me?
What was yours?
Yeah, the masked man's number 1. I think that's everybody's number 1. There's not a better moment than that. That was just ridiculous.
Good old Mike. Hopefully enjoy him a little bit more this year. I look forward to reading your article, Mason, and everyone can find that at the-barnburner.com later this week. You can subscribe to the Barn Burner Podcast Network on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all of those places. Give us a good rating, if you please. Give us some feedback. We're always open to it. You can find us on Twitter at Backdoor Cut Show if you want to interact with us. And I guess that wraps it up for us. Mason got kicked off, so I think that'll do it. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Peace.